All right, we are at the live duel. We are live. We are caught up. Very well done. Quantal is clapping it up, doing incredibly well here. As he's now fusion summoning into a Kaleido Heart. This is all happening during the opponent's turn. Kaleido Heart on summon, spin a card on the field back into the deck. If we could Chain Link block the Phantom of Yubel, which is actually already negated by the Sulliek, but ideally, let's say it is not negated, you would block your Kaleido Heart with another card effect, which could be something like your Tearlaments field spell. So we are going to spin that Phantom of Yubel back into the extra deck you go. Gravescormer banishing from the graveyard to Reborn from the grave. What have we not activated yet? It looks like the Fenrir already activated. The Rukalis already negated a special summon. The Sulliek actually has not, it did activate. This effect was used this turn, so, because we're catching up to this replay late. I think Quantal's out of Disruption. So the big issue here is, with a 3,000 defense monster in the field, that requires 3 Yubels per game. And then Quantal loses. No way they're losing. No way. They're going to be down 2 points in the top 4 already. 5 points and it's over. Can he get access to 2 more Yubels? He does not have any Yubel monster in the graveyard. He's got a D-Lotus. He's now thinking, we're actually ahead of the stream by a little bit. And you can see that they're coaching each other. They're allowed to talk to each other. So Josh ended his duel early, so he's allowed to talk to Quantal. So it's not just Quantal playing, it's also Josh. Josh is his Yamayugi. Only reflecting 3K. That is great. Now, we could have a Gravescormer in the hand potentially within the battle phase when there's only 1 Yubel to special pop it to then summon another Yubel. We're going to main phase 2. Phantom of Yubel. I think it's over for the non-Quantal player. Quantal's got way too much. We could just straight up negate the Phantom of Yubel. We could banish anything with the Fenrir after they try to activate. We got Rukalis to negate a special summon. If they were to try to special summon a Spirit from the hand on an attack declaration, the Kaleido Heart's going to be triggering pretty much off of anything. This is going to be a Baron to floor. Just like that, we're now going to add an Omni negate to the field. So this will be putting Quantal up Team Josh by, it's going to go 1-1. And then we're going to have to go to the 3rd set right after. All right, I'm a streamer. Lethal damage with that Baron to floor. Omni negate, mate. Let's do it. All right. Let's hop into the 3rd set, which I think was already spoiled. So we'll see that we're 1-1. Let's speed this up. Pada E, Ash negate, mate. Chain Dimension Shifter. What now? Set pass. Holy crap, Emre. Where's your Rabina? Opening up a Ponix, grabbing the Sky Burn. Get ready to get burned and burn in for 500. Both players are opening absolutely horrid. Main deck Cosmic Cyclone. No way to see that coming. Goodbye to the original Sinful. Well, we were under Dimension Shifter, so it was an illegal play. We're going to change a heart, take control of the Ponix, banishing, actually tributing it to search for a Winged Beast with the same level. So, level 1 Ponix, level 1 Rabina. Thank you very much. What the hell? Change a heart into Swallow's Cowrie. Absolutely insane. Unfortunately, that Rabina is getting negated. The camera's aft. Well, this is a duel that already happened. Don't get distracted. Wanted Seeker grabbing a Diablo Star from the deck. We're going to use the Wanted Seeker, return the banished original Sinful back in the deck to draw 1. Poplar on summon, searching for that return back original Sinful as we now link this up into an Almirage. Triggering Poplar to go into the back row to then send it to the graveyard through the effect of the original Sinful. Emre with that back row doing nothing. What the heck could it be? We're going to set up Sanctuary into the Fire King Island, popping the Almirage to grab a Kirin, triggering the Sacred Garunix to summon to then pop a Kirin from the deck to trigger the Kirin into a Swallow's Cowrie. That's a scoop. Yeah, that's, I got nothing. Just finish me, please. Holy moly. That's so unfortunate. Lethal damage. Wow, wow, wow. All right, all right. We had no camera for this because they never were on camera. They were not on camera even for a second. Their duel did not happen on stream. All right, let's go. You have Jesse Cotton at the top, starting with an I'm Seti, discarding Triva Karma to not only add a King Sark, but draw an additional card. Triva Karma. I'm not sure if we triggered a Scream in the graveyard to search for whatever that trap is. It's probably a Sulliek for a monster negate. We have Dweller completely turning off the opposing graveyard from being able to activate anything within it. We have 2 monster negates on the Apollo USA. We have Rukalos, which will be a special summon negate. And the field spell with Keldo is going to be able to return a Tearlament back in the deck plus additional cards to trigger its effect to pop a card in the field. And the Tearlament Scream may trigger a fusion summon, but that's a maybe. So 6 to 7 disruptions. Let's see. One of them being a floodgate. That Heavy Storm. No way. A bluffed triple tactics talent. It wasn't actually a disruption. Tearlament Scream is gone. We're now thrusting a Dark Ruler no more. Heavy Storm into Dark Ruler no more. Ain't no freaking way. Negate the entire field. But the Dweller already has the lingering effect of you're not allowed to activate cards in your graveyard, so you're still turned off. As Jesse has been completely wiped out from the back row and negated on field, we're going to be adding an Albion through the Mercurier being banished. Albion sending a Retribution from the deck to draw a random card as the Alubur searches our deck for a Branded Fusion. Do we or do we not have an Ash Blossom to negate this? We have a Max C. In our 60-card deck, we got that hand trap. We got you. Now, with the Branded Fusion, we're probably going to summon a Sanctifier Dragon because of that. And instead, we're going for Albion Branded Dragon. This means that we may be taking the Maxi Challenge. Are we going to lethal under Maxi? Keldo says no. I don't think so. You should have went for the Sanctifier because now you don't have an Albaz to fuse with. If you go for the Albion Branded Dragon, you lose to a Called By, a Bystial, a Keldo. Well, joke's on you. I had it in my hand. In my hand, I had the Fallen of Albaz. You thought you countered me. I instead just tricked you to activate your Keldo. Now, of course, we can't take a meaningful Maxi challenge against an in-grave Fairy Tale Snow on someone flipping down that Mirror Jade. We're going to Rin Brum, send to the graveyard, non-target, monster banish. And, you know, of course, yes, we can't lethal, but we want to wipe out that field. All right, we're going to be flipping down the Mirror Jade, Triva Karma, also searching our deck for a Tearlament Grief. Getting rid of the Rukalos for good. Be gone. Now, there's a second copy of Snow in the graveyard, so banishing the Snow was just not a good idea. I mean, this is over for Sebaduck. There is no way. And I think this is why a lot of people don't like the Dark Ruler no more, because you then lose your ability to all in. If it were a Forbidden Droplet instead, where we could be dealing damage, potentially forcing out lethal, even though there was a Fairy Tale Snow, that maybe would have been a better option. We have our Kaleido Heart on summon, spinning the face down Mirror Jade back into the deck, reborning Jet Synchron by discarding to make a Baron to floor with Kaleido Heart. What the hell? Now, with Kaleido in the graveyard, you could reborn it with a Tearlament Grief, you could reborn it with a Kick Kalos, so all you gotta do is make Kick Kal, and the Kaleido is back. We're gonna Baron to floor, take out that Alubur, full field, over 11,000 damage, just like that. Jesse Cotton taking a Game 1 victory. Set 2 starting. We can now watch Set 2 between Josh's team and the opposing one. So we got a quick duel from Jesse Cotton, and let's continue with the match that we were watching previously. Triva Karma, banishing to search your deck for a Tearlament field. So the Triva Karma is an ultra rare. It's going to be quite expensive if all of you want to be stacking them up in your deck like Jesse Cotton playing 3. You have Rhino Heart now. In graveyard, we do at least have an I'm Seti. Rhino activating on summon, ascend from the deck a Tearlament to trigger a fusion summon with the Hobness. Now, if we don't have the Tearlament Kashtira, the general play is to send the Tearlament Kashtira from the deck with the Kick Kal to then reborn it. That's a mill 10 combo. Yes, come forth, Kick Kal. And we are under Max C, so we probably don't want to make that combo. We want to instead search for a Sulliek and pass. That would be the best play under a Max C. Right? What'd I say? You think I pre-watched the Worlds, huh? Foolish Burial. Before we are going to be planning on ending our turn. Only 4 cards in the graveyard, so a Fairy Tale Snow would not be as ideal. Instead, we have a Caldo, which could possibly be working alongside the Tearlament field spell if we can get a Tearlament engrave, as it will then trigger to pop a card in the field. So the Sulliek, we have a Monster Negate plus Mill 5 with Kick Cow, probably will trigger a fusion. Do we negate the Volcanics? If we try to negate Volcanics, here's the issue. Sulliek does not send unless it negates. And if we don't send, then we don't Mill 5. So we really need to ensure that the Kick Callus is sent to the graveyard. It's a really big deal here. Negate its effects, then send a monster you control to the graveyard. The then is the big issue here. If it didn't have that clause, then I think we would have willy-nilly get our Kick Cow in the graveyard now, and it wouldn't be a big deal. But this is dependent on the Caldo being usable with our field spell. Otherwise, we lose out on the field spell, and we lose out on Mill 5. But if we don't do it now, when are we going to do it? Any other opportunity to activate our Sulliek will then get thwarted at that moment. Your Sulliek is not a secret. The opponent, he heard me, see? You're right. Send the Kick Cow, only after the negate, and it goes through. Very well done. We have the Mill 5, which may be triggering a fusion here. Mill 5. What was that? Where are the 5 cards? Dual Log, wake up. We have no Tearlament fusion trigger, but we have another Mill 3. We're going to banish from the graveyard Mill 3. This is it. We do have an opportunity to trigger another fusion. We want to make a Root Kalos. We don't want Keldo to return back the Kick Cow to have to pop a card in the field. All right. This is big. And we whiffed it. We absolutely whiffed it. We did not mill what we needed. So now we're in this awkward position where the Keldo has to spin back our own Kick Cow back into the extra deck to trigger our field spell to pop on the fields. Otherwise, I don't know what that other back row card is. Maybe it could be something like a Meta Noise. That would be absolutely wonderful. Flip down and trigger a fusion. Diablo Star discarding an Volcanics from the hand to activate on summon to grab an Original Sinful from the deck. Now we have an opportunity to Caldo pop the Original Sinful. We Caldo return back the Kick Cow, trigger field spell, wipe it out. They would maybe just pass their turn after that. Possibly. They didn't have a Kieran. Holy Meta Noise! Ain't no way we also had Meta Noise. We were more than good. Meta Noise sent a Havnis from the deck that's going to trigger the field spell, so we didn't even need to rely on the Keldo. This is our fusion summon. We'll have a Root Cow, plus we'll pop the Original Sinful, very likely. Into defense we go. Trigger that field spell. Get wiping. Goodbye, Original Sinful. No summon into Snake Eye Ash or Poplar, none of that nonsense. Now, we have a follow-up Bonfire, grab Poplar, trigger the Poplar. Do we negate the Poplar with Root Kalos? Well, what would it be grabbing? It can't be grabbing another Original Sinful. They don't play more than one of that. So he's going to be thinking, is it worth negating that Poplar summon? We are still negating it. We do not care. Negate that full right here. It will trigger in the graveyard to equip itself into the back row or another fire monster. And I'm expecting Magu to be, that's it, end the turn, yes? And we also got to send our Tearlaments Cashier to trigger its effect to Mill 2. Mill 2 coming, but the likeliness of actually triggering a fusion off Mill 2, 18 cards in the deck, 2 of them being a Sharon. Who's got quick math? Tier Cash. Triggering Ponix, we have so many more plays. Quantal overcommitted. Negating that Poplar, big mistake. We done goofed. That was not good. Quantal went for the high risk, high reward of, I just want to end their turn. Please end your turn. Nope. And then follow up Ponix. That is an absolute nightmare scenario. But by randomly milling the Tearlaments Rhinoheart, maybe we can recover from this. If we were to trigger a Kaleido Heart, spin a card in the field, we're still screwed, actually. They're going to get access to the field spell. So our disruption being tied to this moment right here, right now, the Kaleido's not going to be too impactful. With this field, they could just make, I mean, if they try to Little Knight banish your Dragostapelia, then we don't know if they have another fire monster in the hand. That could be the situation. If they don't have another fire monster in the hand to pop with a field spell to trigger the Garunix off of, and they overcommit into a Little Knight to deal with your Dragostapelia, then they may just be screwed. So I'm going to be very curious to see, is this a Kaleido or a Dragostapelia? Kaleido's right here, right now, has to spin. Dragostapelia is a delayed negate. Focus. He's thinking. He sees the option. Now it's popping up. Now, it probably wasn't in his head. He's just like, oh, Dragostapelia. He's going to go into Garunix. It will summon. It will activate on fields. And then I will lose. We don't want to lose to activated Garunix on fields. We're at our last form of disruption. We're going for Kaleido. We Kaleido in up. Let's go, let's go. Yep. On summon, spin a card on the field, back into the deck you go in attack position. No F's given. What are we targeting? There's a face down Diablo Star. We still have Volcanics on the field to pop with the field spell. So the situation here is we pop a Karen to Reborn Volcanics. Ooh, we also get to add from the deck the fire through the original Sinful. So I guess that was the problem overall, is that if we made a Dragostapelia, they could have Little Knighted it and then add a fire to the hand from the deck anyway. So I feel like we were screwed either way, but I still think maybe Dragostapelia would have been a little bit better. The Kaleido's definitely better in the grind game, I would say, though. If we could get the Kaleido, if the Kaleido survives this turn, which the main way to deal with it's going to be a Little Knight, just like the Drago would have been the way to deal with that. So let's see how Magu deals with this. Kaleido Heart sent to the graveyard in any way whatsoever. We're going to be using up the field spell. The Kaleido Heart does give you insulation against Zealantis. If Zealantis is going to... Here's the thing. I feel like you should just pop it twice with Zealantis, and it's no big deal. You pop it with Promethean, it reborns, and then it's going to send a card from the deck to the grave, which we already used up all our fusion triggers. We then Zealantis battle phase, wipe it out a second time, then it's open field lethal. Now, how do we have this open field lethal play? We're going to need to be able to make a Zealantis plus another body. So that's generally, we need to get 4 bodies on the field. At the moment, we'll have 3. Now, to instead from 4 bodies making lethal with 3, there has to be a monster in the opponent's graveyard to reborn with a Hida or a Dark. He did allow the Kirin to resolve because he is saving for the lethal damage with Zealantis play. He is going to hold it. Hold it, hold it, hold it. But Shuffler? Yep. He does have the Link Karibo into Dark to steal from the graveyard. On summon, popping out the King Sark. So when Dark activates to steal from the graveyard, do we shuffle then? Or do we wait to shuffle on Promethean Princess? See what's going on? Everything I'm saying is happening. Without the Shuffler, this is 8,000 damage. It don't look like it, but it is. Yup. There's the Dark. Could have skipped out on Dark if we went for Hida. We're stealing from the graveyard, so this is the opportunity to shuffle our own I'm Seti back into the deck, and that's exactly what we are doing. Shuffle it back in. If we could get another body on the field, we would still have lethal damage, but how do we get another body? Where's that somebody coming from? I don't see any other way to do it. We're turning our Grief, King Sark, and I'm Seti back into the deck. No Dark Summon. We can still make Promethean Reborn, but that's not going to be an out to Kaleido. So the grind game with Kaleido here is going to be insane. Especially when comboed up with Sulliek. Well, there you go. That's it. It's gone. It's not on the field anymore. We do want to have a way to reborn it through Kick Cal. So if we can kick Kalos, reborn it, it's back. So it is still in circulation where we don't have to fuse into it since we are tied to just 2 fusion summons only. So we can go Kick Cal, Reborn, Kaleido, and then we can go Rukal. So Rukalos and Kaleido in the next turn. Little Knight on summon, get banishing. Goodbye to that limited to 1 Sulliek, gone for good. Well, actually the Grief adds it back. If we could mill a Grief, we could add back the Trap. Off the top of the deck, how are we feeling? In the graveyard, we have not... Whoa. We shuffled that back in the deck and we just drew it. We probably play one of that, possibly. I'd have to see their deck list. We're going to special summon from the graveyard or the deck. Summon Kaleido, send Kaleido, trigger Kaleido, spin with Kaleido, send from the deck with Kaleido, fusion summon, trigger the field spell, pop a card, spin a card, fusion summon. 3 things are happening. We're gonna spin, we're gonna fuse, and spin, fuse, pop. Spin, fuse, pop. Oh boy. Oh boy. What are we spinning? If you spin the Fire King Island, it does not wipe the field. If you try to destroy the Fire King Island, the Sanctuary could potentially protect it, as you could destroy a fire monster in the hand or face up instead. Little Knight is banishing that Kaleido off the field, but Kaleido already got all of its value in. It's spinning, it triggered a fusion, it's triggering the field spell. Kaleido's fine. Come forth, Kid Kalos. This is our first fusion trigger. So we still have Sharon. Sharon is ready and waiting. Kid Kalos searching our deck. Also triggering that field spell. Field spell is, you always want to think, do you want to pop your own card? Popping your own Kaleido is good. Sometimes popping your Kid Kalos could be good. If they have something like a Veil or Impermanence, if you pop your own Kid Kal, they'll still negate your search or send, but then you get to mill 5 after popping your Kid Kal. Going for that Sanctuary Destruction, the protection onto the Fire King Island. We didn't want to risk there being a fire monster in the hand to protect the Fire King Island. All right, resolve it into a Rhino Heart. We have not activated Rhino Heart yet. We're going to Kid Kal, send itself, summon the Rhino Heart into a mill 5 plus send Sharon from the deck combo. So you have to be wondering, can we lethal damage here? Well, if we mill a Destrudo, I would say we have game. So let's see in the mill 5. We milled a Fairy Tale Snow. Fairy Tale Snow, Dugaris, and Rukal. Double Rukal to 6,000. Dugaris is 1,200, 72. Reborn Fairy Tale Snow again. You need 14 cards to do that. We have 19. Wait, isn't Dugaris just game? Dugaris is game. That actually doubles to 7,000 because of the field spell. And we got it. Huh, let's go. And Punisher, we don't have that, but we have Fairy Tale Snow for game. I mean, he's got to know. He knows, right? Right? He knows. Dugaris, yes. Double the attack, just as I said. Bah. Boost up the Rukal to 7,000 attack, then he draws 2. Skip the battle phase. Double the Rukal. 7K. We now got 8,200. We didn't need it to be 7K. Oh, Nibiru. Rukal's gonna have to send itself to the graveyard after negating Nibiru. We lose the double attack boost. We lose our battle phase next turn, by the way. If we do not win this turn, negate and destroy, you have to send. Oh no, our attack boost. What happened? The boost is gone. 3,500. We have 13 cards left in the graveyard. Banish 7. Holy moly. Are we in a top deck situation for Magu next turn? We should be surviving this now. Do we have a Little Knight Banish at least? Main phase 2 Little Knight? I don't see Little Knight Banisher in our graveyard, so I don't think we've used it yet. So Fairy Tale Snow, Dugaris, Little Knight it up. This gotta be the way. Take out that Fire King Island right here, right now. You know it. Yeah, buddy. I feel like I saw this whole duel in my dream already. Banish. And he's gonna top deck. Nothing. He's gonna just pass with with 1 card drawn. That's what I remember seeing in my dream. Let's go. Little Knight. Your Little Knight also returning back on the field, plus giving back our Kaleido Heart. Holy moly. If the Rukal negates a special summon, we'll send Kaleido, summon Kaleido, spin, pop, fuse again. 3 things happen if that Kaleido goes to the grave. You do not want it. I mean, what do we even do? Magu knows it's over. He knows. You know. We all know. Quantal absolutely has this. Clairvoyant now. I said that card he draw would be nothing. And as you can see, he... I guess you can look at the face cam. What does the face cam tell you? Is he thinking? Whoa! He thought about summon Maxi. He's thinking. Fairy Tale Snow, flip it down. Don't scoff at this play. It's a Link 3, mate. Banish 7. flip that Maxi down. I don't think so. You will not be linking on me. Who called he draw Maxi for the turn? Who knew it? No Typhon, please. Like, who cares about Typhon? Typhon just delays your loss, right? It mostly does. 9 times out of 10, it just delays an L. Fairy Tale Snow, come forth. Flip that Maxi face down. Are we chaining our Lil Knight? No, we chilling. What are we doing? That was our last chance to activate our Lil Knight. Well, what? Till the end phase? So what? We end our turn. We have nothing in the graveyard of value. The Garunix needs a fire monster to be destroyed, and it would then trigger to then get poppin' and probably set up a negate. About 2 disruptions would be set up through a fire monster being destroyed. Obnus is here. I think actually the play could have been make Almirage, swing in, and then trigger the Garunix, but the Brute Callus negates the activation of the summon anyway. So we are just super screwed. Brute Cal had everything covered. Goddess skip. What'd I say? Skip the battle phase, remember? Battle phase skip because of Dugaris last turn. Magu off the top of the deck. What do we have here? We now have another Graveyard Negate, and it is an activation negate, so the damage step play of Garunix swing in with the fire monster, make an Almirage or something tiny, it's not going to work. And neither will it go through a Rukalos. Okay, I flip up Maxi. Get Almirage. What did I say? Almirage away. Diablo Star off the top of the deck. That was pretty good, I'd say. If we have an Original Sinful in the deck, which we don't, so we have an Original Sinful banished. We have a Wanted Seeker we cannot even activate. So the question is, how do we chain link block the Garunix from being negated? I don't think we could really do that. Hida will... Oh, we battle... Oh, that's the chain link block we actually had to play. Woo, that was crazy. Garunix and Hida on chain link 2. What a mad lad. That was perfect. Wow. I think if I had more sleep, I would have thought. So remember, I said I was like, how do we chain link block the Garunix? He thought of it. He actually did. He think of it, or his teammate did? Someone told him to chain link block. Wow. And we're gonna be activating the pop from the deck, and then the Kirin will be triggering, which will then negate that. So did that even matter? 300 life, blinking red. Oh my Jesus. Kirin trigger. Oh wait, we chain link blocked, and now they will negate the Kirin. See, we don't even want to activate it. You activate it, that triggers Kaleido Spin, triggers a fusion. If Quantal loses this, I'm gonna go absolutely nuts. There's no freaking way. Does he play Divine Temple in his deck? I don't think every Fire King player does it. Most do though. This dude's about to... Wait, he didn't trigger for Divine Temple. Okay, he still's got good plays. He could still summon a Flameburge and push Kaleido into the back row. This is... Oh my god, Quantal's gonna lose. I can't. How? By skipping the battle phase, he lost. Dugaris lost him the duel, and I told him to do it. Oh no. Actually lost to Dugaris battle phase skip. Unfreaking believable. Flameburge, get pushing. Whatever Flameburge pushes, a lot of people forget this. Flameburge, I would think like the original design intent is we want a monster that could push something in the back row and then steal it. So whatever we push is ours. Next turn. You want a goddess? You got it. You want a Kaleido? We want the goddess. I'll take your goddess. Your goddess is mine. This is not just monster removal. This is monster yoink. And we're now going to be setting up for our Promethean princess. This is... Oh my gosh. We're going to... What? Apollo, Promethean, steal your goddess. We're at 300 life though, so the Link Rebo protecting us from an attack for just 300 damage. I can't... This is the biggest comeback ever. This is why you're not allowed to surrender. That is wild. In the TCG, I think both players would forget about Dugaris battle phase skip and a surrender would have happened. There's no way we would have got this far. You have Skyburn also. Well, I'm counting like 2, 3, 4, at least 4 disruptions we're setting up here. Come forth, Apollo USA. Where's our Promethean? We skip Promethean. And we are using our Skyburn early to use the Apollo to negate. These are some crazy plays. We did not Promethean Reborn back the Flameburge to then steal from their back row. Okay, we got double negate on that Apollyon. It's not a fire monster, so it won't trigger off of being destroyed. We have Ponix adding back to the hand here. Garunix in graveyard really needs to witness a fire monster being destroyed to get triggering. Quantal with 2 cards in hand. The Rukal, Kaleido in grave. We have 26 card banished. I think he did a little bit of YOLO banishing, thinking that he definitely had game. So did he think of the best possible banishes, or are we now going to regret it? Oh my gosh, he's passing. I cannot believe this. How are we? Listen, I'm not on his team. I didn't actually tell him to do Garrus. But Josh is sitting right next to him, so that could have been Josh. Oh no. 4850. This is the comeback of a lifetime. This duel, I'm calling it right now. They're gonna lose this round 4-5. This comeback duel is gonna decide the entire round of who goes to the grand finale. I'm sorry to be that person, but I'm just saying it. Quantal, I'm not saying you costed the grand finale for your team. Whoever told you to do Garrus, cut him.
So you?
Not me. 10,000 damage. Let's go. All right, you can't blame me for this. What the hell? All right.
How can you ruin
3
worlds
points.
twice?
Ruined worlds ×2. Unbelievable. Said he had no plays. Yeah, I done goofed. Josh switched to Labyrinth. No way. Oh my gosh. He actually switched to Labyrinth. Wow. Let's, I don't know how we have access to this, but we should probably look at the deck list that he switched to. Oh my gosh. Are they allowed to have their iPhone on them while dueling? Probably not. Where is Josh at? Control F Josh. Whoops. I clicked the card. No. Where's Josh? Where's Josh? Josh's Labyrinth deck is built wild. Oh, the screen's going nuts. Wrong Josh. There's 10 Joshes in the comments. Be quiet about Josh, Jesus. There we go. Heavy Storm Duster. What? He's using it right now. Target up to 2 spell and trap cards on the field. Destroy them. No way. We just took out Spirit Gates and Nightmare Pain. This dude also has Black Horn of the Heaven, also known as negate the summon of a Phantom of Yubel or a Link summon. We can negate this summon. You can negate an access code talker if you want to. So maybe we're going to wait for an access code talker. Wait for the access code talker, negate it with the Black Horn of Heaven. I think so. Don't ask how we have this info, but believe me, it's in the back row. Is this it? Little Knight. Do we negate Little Knight summon or wait for the access code talker? What do you think? Daruma! We are going to be banishing our Link monsters and not the Phantom of Yubel. We're going to be flipping up the Dragon Ice Prison, stealing a Fiend monster to then banish a Fiend on the field. So what did we just accomplish here? Little Knight is now going, where do you think? Not banished, to the grave, because we're going to flip down the Phantom of Yubel and send the Little Knight to the grave. Oh my Jesus. Goodbye, Little Knight. Wow, wow, wow. And we have triple unending nightmares for field spell, continuous spells, Dogmatica Punishment, sending Garura to draw 1. Now, that was a lot of great back row, but do we have a follow-up? Because we're quite spent. After all of that, we have 3 cards to, what, 5? 3 set versus 5 cards overall? I don't know if we're, if we could still win this, can we? Wait, flip up end? Dogmatica Punishment again. Garura for the second draw. Double Garura, let's go. We need to get into our Labyrinth engine to get winning. All the other backer cards are supposed to supplement your Labyrinth plays. Upstart Goblin, drawing into another back row, potentially a big welcome or welcome Labyrinth. If it's one of those, we got it, and that is exactly what we have. Chaining Maxi to that welcome Labyrinth. We could Solemn Strike if we wanted to. We're going to chain the Ice Dragon Prison, taking the Sharvara from the graveyard and banishing it alongside the D Lotus. Be gone. Holy moly. Now, unfortunately, the Lovely would have not been triggering there because of the chain link order there because of the Max C. So we're going to Trap Trick, chaining the Lady to the Trap Trick. The opponent had to chain anything to the Trap Trick to stop them from chaining directly to a trap, set a trap from the deck, as we are setting from the deck a big welcome, and the Trap Trick sets up a Heavy Storm Duster. That Heavy Storm Duster, 2 spell trap cards face up, face down, it does not matter. We're going to wipe out those back row cards. Chaining Call by the Grave on our Garura. Now, if this dude would have looked at the deck list on the website, he would know that Josh doesn't play a 3rd Garura anyway. Big welcome Labyrinth, chain link blocking with that Max C. Ain't no way we're gonna summon Lovely, return back Lady, trigger Lovely, pop the back row, recycle a trap from the graveyard, resummon Lovely, the Lady back onto the field. Well, maybe not this turn because we're under Max C. Maybe we should hold off on doing that. The pop is coming. We pop it. Now, what trap do we want to recycle from the graveyard after we pop from the hand, wiping out a 3rd copy of Max C, I believe? Yup. Did we really recycle the Heavy Storm Duster? That card is that good? No way. A 3rd Heavy Storm Duster? We're ending our turn. Josh is going to win this. Labyrinth is winning this. Let's speed this up. Ain't no way. Heavy Storm Duster, get poppin', mate. That was 3 activations of Heavy Storm Duster in 1 duel. Incredible. I talked about this yesterday. What did I say if you were watching? I said that his deck was built to beat Yubel. I said it, you heard it, and we see it right here, right now. Built to beat Yubel and clapping up Yubel. Lethal damage. I'm curious how well the deck would have done if we would have gone second. Can we really go second set 5 and still win? Wow, good job. 2 to 3, that is. It is Centurion. I was joking before, but I don't think it's a joke. I don't think Emre knows that you don't have to play your second deck. He continually swaps between both of them. I've not seen him consecutively play the same deck. I don't think he understands the rules. Serenir, send from the deck a Magna Hut. We have our regained special summon Trudea. Trudea setting up a Gargoyle into the back row. Come forth and special summon. This is a chain link block on the Auxilla if you're holding on to an Ash Blossom. There you go, Gargoyle, block it up. Pretty much the only opportunity to Ash Blossom against Centurion will be against the Primera. If you don't got it there, then you don't got it. Auxilla searching the deck for a Phalanx, so this is a whopping double disruption, just 2. But the deck provides good grind game. It's resilient against a Max C. Let's see if that works out. Woo, voiceless voice. Trudea is going to be summoning. You want to summon the Trudea and Primera on separate chain links so you don't get hit by a fat Max C. So if they Max C here, they draw 1 less card. We're now triggering the field spell, chain link blocking the Primera from being Ash Blossomed, as I believe we're going into a Crimson Dragon into a Blazar, right? Blazar would be the way. We have an animation. I don't think Blazar nor Supernova has an animation, but the Crimson does. Great. This is it. We ain't waiting. Shokan into Cosmic Blazar Dragon. We have negate a summon, negate an effect. We're going to negate that. Negate and destroy. Get rid of that hard once per turn activation of the effect. And we still have the Phalanx. Phalanx could banish a monster temporarily until the next turn. Now, the problem with the banish is it special summons the monster back. So if it has a trigger effect like Diviner does, it will trigger on summon. But that's also a benefit. You could use Phalanx on your own monster, and if it triggers on summon like Auxilla does, you gain that benefit. So Diviner with that negates, and there were no Trias in the hand, no Sarvis in the hand to stop that impermanence, as we now make our Typhon. We're going to banish Typhon from the field to come back during the standby phase. Nope, you're actually not coming back because Regained returned you back in the extra to draw a card. Damn, we already used up our normal summon. We're going to add back the barrier from the graveyard. Now back to you. Blazar back in the end phase. Auxilla setting up Primera. This really, I don't think this, okay, I understand why Centurion is doing so well for Emery. And it's not about Centurion. It really is the Branded Regained. I am confident that that is, if he survives for 1 turn with Branded Regained with Centurion, that's it. It's over. He gains way too much advantage. Banishing their monster, drawing a card, reborning Bystials, drawing on his own turn, drawing on their turn. So over 2 turns, we continually are drawing 2 cards off of the regained. It's too much. We're drawing again. We're already massively winning in card advantage. This is, I would highly recommend this deck to pretty much anyone that just wants a simple deck with a good future. There are so many unreleased Centurion cards that are going to be coming out in Master Duel. There's a second wave, and then there's a third wave. The third wave's the level 8 Synchro. And just like that, they are tied up. Awakening plus Emeth. Is Awakening the counter trap? Check that out on Master Duel meta. I think most people are not playing that. In fact, I'm not playing that myself either. Ghost Ogre, destroy the Nightmare Pain, as the Psyframe Gear Gamma is going to negate, as the Ash Blossom negates the negate. I don't think so, mate. Negate. Negated. Pop it. Now, the Gamma's still activatable this turn, only if we activate another hand trap. So we do have the other hand trap that we're seeing here, which would be the Effect Veiler. Let's go. Negate from grabbing the Spirit Gates. It ain't happening. We're now going to return back to summon that Phantom of Yubel and end the turn as we are catching up to Emre's play. What is Emre going to do? Set 2 pass. Do we know what deck Emre's playing? Is this Centurion or Flandreese? Wait, they're passing again. Are we caught up? Yeah, we're caught up. We're caught up. We're in the live gameplay. With the cam, with the gameplay, live. Let's see what's happening. Why is he unhappy? They both look unhappy. They're both not happy. You know, he's just afraid of the 2 sets, really? The 2 sets are that scary? We're going to imperm the Phantom of Yubel. As we then follow up with a monster effect that we do not want to be negated, we have Druid Swarm. Banishing from either player's graveyard, banish our own Effect Veiler to come forth and summon to swing over that Phantom of Yubel. Now it's still going to reflect 2,500 damage. We reflected. Now the Nightmare Throne is not going to trigger because the monster did not leave by card effect, which it would have lost by card effect had we used our Nightmare Pain. So are we going to have something to pop with Nightmare Pain? A dark monster to grab a D-Lotus. Need the D. Where's the D-Lotus? Come to me. All right. Think about it. Any dark monster, pop with the Nightmare Pain. It's a face-up on the field of what you control or a dark in the hand. Wow. What the heck? I mean, you have Gamma. Do you have Driver and Gamma in your hand? Driver and Gamma. Ain't no way. He's got Driver and Gamma. We're going to beat him down with Druid Swarm. We know it's a Gamma. It's in the hand. We saw it. We just don't know what the other card is. Now, Druid Swarm attacking is actually kind of wild. Well, not really, because they would have definitely popped the Spirit of Yubel. But there's always a risk when you attack that Spirit of Yubel is going to surprise you and jump out of the hand. Now, you do want to think that if they had a Spirit Yubel last turn, did they have a way to use it? Well, Nightmare Pain it. Oh my gosh. Gamma, Driver, what, Veiler? Are you really going to lose to a single Bestial Druid Swarm? It's going to happen. No way. If Emre has an additional play, let's say a Centurion Primera, he can't use it because of the Gamma. He is locked into that Gamma. The Gamma's pinning down Emre from making additional plays. But if he does nothing, would you consider normal summoning Primera, not activating, and then attacking directly for game? Do we have a negate? Something on that D-Lotus mate. What do? We activate D-Lotus and get Ash Blossomed. Ooh, that's going to be a Gamma, so we can't do that. Can't do that. Can't Ash it. We got to let it go through. We have to allow it. Spirit of Yubel. On summon. Okay, now we max C because there has to be a body on the field. Otherwise, ooh, Ash. Negates. We have Ash. We had Gamma. Dead Gamma in the hand. And I am suspecting also a Driver is stuck in that hand. So 2 dead cards in the hand. Let's resolve it. Let's go. Other card is Necroface. What the hell are you talking about? Did you look up their deck list online? Nightmare Pain it up. Spirit of Yubel. Notice how it did not activate because we only played 2 copies of Nightmare Pain. No Eternal Favorite. Wipe out that Spirit. Trigger the field spell. This is going to be 2 bodies on the field. And we're going to grab a Grave Scormer. So Emre is in big trouble. Emre's field is lit right now for the response to the Nightmare Pain. As soon as the chain color turns yellow, that's when it's resolving. So we're thinking, what could Emre really be thinking about? Ooh, that's it. It's going through. As the cards trigger, what does that mean? It's an open field. We can't respond to an open field while there is Gamma. So trigger the spirit, trigger the field spell, and we have to just let it be. If we had a Ghost Ogre, we can't pop the Nightmare Throne. Terror, Incarnate, Yubel on the field, and we're now going to be setting up for the Unchained Engine. Yubel, Terror Incarnate. We could also whip out our Phantom of Yubel. We're going to Phantom of Yubel early. That's quite interesting because it's optimal to have the Spirit of Yubel in the graveyard. Woo! That is lethal damage just like that. We don't even need to go into the Yubel package. We're going to Phalanx, banish our own Druid Swarm. That's right. Reflect 2,500 3 times. It ain't happening if our own card is banished. So now we're going to have to make all our plays in main phase 2, setting up a ton of disruption where otherwise we had lethal damage. Wow, forcing Phalanx onto yourself. That is something. Emre's not in a good position after that. That, you know, it was good play, but really bad spot. I don't see how we could come out on top from this. Squirmer, special summon, get poppin'. The way was to have a Maxi that would not get negated, and we already tried that. This Maxi did get negated. Special summon Squirmer, and Squirmer doesn't have a good card to pop because we have nothing to summon unless we play the Ultimate Nightmare. No way! We can't summon Druid Swarm back on the field because we're gonna have an Ibly! It doesn't return back to the field, it special summons, and you can't special summon! No! What's his face? He's not interested in the duel anymore. He's looking away, he's like, nah, I'm done. I'm done. Yeah, how you guys doing? Cause this ain't it. Elf Reborn, Soul of Rage from the graveyard. So the main ways to deal with Ibly, play Lingeribo, not Linkuribo. No one's playing Lingeribo. Jesse is, though. The other way is to battle. Destroy your Ibly by battle, because it's preventing you from special summoning besides Link summoning. Well, you can't go to battle to destroy because of the Nightmare Pain. So the third way is to normal summon a monster and then link with Ibly. But Escape of the Unchained in the back row will destroy that normal summon. So the Lingeribo way, if they have it, they have it. Otherwise, they don't. Yeah, we're just maxing for no reason. We're screwed. Yeah, he's throwing the surrender flag up. I think he's scooping where he's not allowed to scoop. Nightmare Pain is going to cover the battle option. Escape's going to cover the normal summon op. He's got a Bestial Tribute Summon. He got it. He had the fourth way Tribute Summon. Ain't no way. Why did we throw that Maxi away? We just Maxian to play around that Soul Rage. Okay. What are you, like, fake surrender? Now you're committed to not negating the Maxi? Typhon spin back, but we can't spin back Phantom of Yubel when there's another Phantom of Yubel, so that's covered. We're still negating? Negating when we have double Phantom of Yubel to protect our Soul of Rage, I believe. We're just protecting Soul of Rage. This is a non-target spin. We do not want the Soul of Rage to be spun back, so all right, that's that. And the Typhon, as you can see here, these crossouts mean no more normal summoning, no more special summoning, no more summoning, but we have a triple tactics talent. Draw 2. Look at the hand. What do you do if you take control? You can't battle. You can't link off with what you take control of. You can't, yeah, we go for the draw 2. That's our only play. And my take on Typhon is it's generally, in most cases, a delayed loss. We at least set in, but it's not going to be another Phalanx. Fun play with that. And with the Typhon on the field, that's going to be 3 attacks per game. Yep. Wait, no, that's actually 2 attacks per game. 2900. We're going to link it off at the end of the main phase. Chain Sprite Elf, reborn back our Yama, go into a Little Knight on summon, banish that back row card. Goodbye to the impermanence. It's got to be imperm. Well, we are maxi drawing, so why did we Little Knights? I mean, why did we Sprite Elf? Did we forget about Max C? A completely unnecessary summon of Yama. No bueno. What if, does Emre play evenly match? Could we have just drawn into an evenly match as he wipes up our back row card? Just gave him an extra +1 that, no, we didn't give him evenly. We did not, oh, Emre, what the hell was that, man? Don't do that. All right, now back. Okay, you know why Emre did that? Emre did that. It is a top player intimidation tactic to let your opponent know that they misplayed and that they don't deserve the win. That's what you do. IRL TCG go into battle phase. And then, yeah, you got it. All right, let's go. Finish this. DBB, additional summon, come to me. Very well done. Shavara, get popping. That's game. That is 7,000 damage we have right here, right now. Phantom of Yubel negating any potential Bestial, but what if there's another Bestial? 2 Bestials. 2? We could stop 1, but not 2. Stream switched. Yeah, before they even lost. This is live. The casters were done with Emre. Lethal damage. All right, let's go. One more loss, and Team Josh gets knocked out. It is a Tearlaments mirror match, but not normal summoning Rhino Heart as the Scream mills off the top of the deck a Triva Karma to search our deck for a Tearlaments Grief. With the Tearlaments Grief, we're going to summon for the deck a Sharon, sending the Hovness to trigger Hovness to fuse with the on-field Sharon to make our Kick Kalos. On summon, Kick Kalos is going to send from the deck to the grave a Tearlaments Kashtira to mill 2, as we then additionally mill 8 cards by reborning that Tearlaments Kashtira. What are we doing with that mill 8? Heavy Storm in the grave, mate. Another Triva Karma to be used during the opponent's turn. This is this is what Gamble means. Gamble means you could end on nothing. This card had to be hard drawn. We don't know if it's a disruption. Hopefully it is. Maybe a Sulliek. And in graveyard, we have 1 Shuffler, which should be pretty good in the mirror match. Tearlaments Scream and Rhino Heart, the much more ideal opener. Also triggering our Tearlaments Scream, so let's see. We do have a Shuffler to stop your fusion play. We did mill our own Hovness. This is wild. We are going to be able to shuffle back the Sharon and Hovness back into the deck you go, stopping your fusion play as our fusion play goes through because we went first. So we're going to add that Sulliek through the milled Scream. And we did Mudora, right? Did I miss something? Did we not Mudora? How did we not did we not? We did not? Why? What? We did not Mudora. Because we are going to use our Tearlaments Crime instead. Holding on to Mudora. Okay, a delayed Mudora play. Interesting. Triple Tactics Talents, which could have been used with our Crime. Crime could have negated talent, as the Mudora negates the graveyard essentially. Stop the grave with Mudora, and Tearlaments Crime negate the Triple Tactics Talent. Is that a throw? And yeah, you do get the effect of Fairy Tale Snow on the summon. By the way, if you have a Masquerena, I activate Triple Tactics Talent, you chain summon a Little Knight, and then I take that Little Knight, I'm banishing on its summon. Oh boy. We're gonna get that Rukalos up and face up so we can make a Zeus, send it to the graveyard. Now, the Tearlaments Cash won't trigger to mill 2. The Scream won't trigger to search for a trap. The Rukalos won't trigger to reborn from the graveyard. Wipe the field! Ours will, though. Our own Scream. Come to us, meta noise. That Mudora throw is so wild. How are you holding your Mudora like that, mate? How? I can't believe that. You can't even Mudora right now because your graveyard's turned off. Okay, listen, I'm gonna be honest. I would cry at Worlds if this happened to me. I would. If I did not Mudora in this game, I would also cry. Yep. There's no way I'm not. That's it. You already know from here, it's over. That Mudora is nothing. Trigger the Rhino. Trigger. I can't believe Mudora's just chilling in the grave. At the bottom of the grave. It was like one of the earliest mills. It was off our initial scream. Dkayed, detached, draw 2, discard. We're just popping off. We don't even care. We're going, wee! No Mudora. Reborn from the grave, reborn from the grave. Zombie, vampire. Mill 4 cards for both players. Oh my Jesus. Little Knight. Is that banishing Mudora? No, Triva Karma even. Goodbye to that Triva Karma. Now back to you. Oh boy. Fairy Tale Snow, banishing 7 cards to the grave. We still have 8 cards left in the grave for another Fairy Tale Snow play. We have the Little Knight chain banishing the Fairy Tale Snow on that summon play as the Rhino Heart now gets flipped face down. But with double Tearlament on the field, we need at least 1 face up to activate one of our back row Tearlament traps. So we are going to banish the Zombie Vampire from the Change of Heart, which we could have taken control of to mill 4 cards for both players to make plays with. We are now going to finally Mudora. Well, we don't really care because we are going to just summon the Fairy Tale Snow again instead of being returned back into the deck. With still 8 cards left in the graveyard after a double banish. That's 14 cards we banished with Fairy Tale Snow. 16 banished cards overall. Back on the field, no Tearlament on the field, so no Tearlament trap works without a Tear on the field. Can't sully it, can't meta noise, can't use Tearlament crime. Come forth, Time Thief, Redoer. Let's get redoing as we're gonna detach the Sharon, trigger the Sharon, fuse it up, come forth, Kaleido Heart on summon, spin a card on the field, back in the deck, goodbye to the Snow, and just like that, lethal damage where it all came down to a held onto Mudora because the triple tactics talent then followed up after the crime. Got really greedy. And you know what's really wild about that? We could have just looked. We could have literally just looked to see this dude's playing 2 triple tactics talent. And why is that very important? It's very important because this is not a shared card. Pretty much no one else will have that triple tactics talent. Who else has it? Because Flandreese can't play it, Centurion plays only 1, and Josh has 0 copies because you could only play 3 triple tactics talent. So the one player that had the most amount of triple tactics talents that we could have looked up, and we played right into it. Damn shame. All right, let's hop into the next stuff. Rhino Heart opening up this duel, send for the deck, Havnis. Get Fusion Summoning, Jesse Kahn going first with the most wild build of Tearlaments that I have ever seen. And if you missed his duel from yesterday, it should be on YouTube. I'm not sure if we're uploading today or tomorrow, where he has a deck out victory where I don't even want to spoil what happens. You're just going to have to see it. We're going to use Forbidden Droplet to negate that Tearlament Kashtira, limited to 1, by the way, as we banish from our hand a Tearlament card, our Tearlament Scream, to get that mill 3. So at least eating up Jesse's Forbidden Droplet here, as we now also, the Tearlament Scream is being triggered to mill an additional 3, plus 3, plus 5. We are milling 11 cards here. Let's go. Wow, double I'm SETI, Dweller turn off that graveyard again. And unlike last year, if we had an Impermanence to negate the Dweller, the Little Knight would have chain banished Dweller, dodging the Impermanence. That's wild that we have that protection. We're going to Field Spell, come to me, Sharon. But our graveyard's completely turned off. And we're gonna also play under we can't activate our grave. We're under Max C. This is a checkmate. What the heck could we do? Sending the Snow, mill 3, Destrudo, we can't reborn. Fairy Tale Snow, we can't reborn. I'll use my Fairy Tale Snow, flipping down your Sharon. You're not gonna take out my Little Knight. You don't even have a good way to trigger your own field spell because you can't return cards back to your extra deck without special summoning or activating your grave. You have Triva Karma in the end phase. How many Triva Karmas have we activated? That is our second Triva Karma alongside the Rainbow Bridge. Jesse's playing 3 Triva Karma and a Rainbow Bridge. We're gonna be griefing it up into Super Poly, fusing with whatever we want with the field. That's going to be our own Sharon plus your Little Knight to make a Mood Dragon to trigger the Sharon, get ready to get fusing with. We do have a Rhino in Sharon to be fusing with. We also have a Mudora to spin your engrave monsters back. The I'm Seti's triggering to send a card in the field to the graveyard. And unfortunately, we didn't have a way to chain link block our Sharon from the Rukalos special summon negate. Now, Rukal doesn't have to send a card to the graveyard because it did not destroy the card. You can't destroy a card that's already in the graveyard. We're going to scream when milled, grab a Meta Noise from the deck. And what else is there to say? I am looking at Horse a bit differently after this weekend. I have to say I'm a big fan of wanting to go all in on Horus after this. We're going to Mood Dragon, declare light so that our monster will be completely untargetable. Where's our King Sark? To non-target send. Fairy Tale Snow flipping down Rukalos as we reborn I'm Seti from the graveyard. We're going to be adding from the deck another I'm Seti. The third I'm Seti is here. We could then discard, search for a King Sark, set up that King Sark. Dockscaper is also going to be triggering, reborning from the graveyard. And it also triggers when banished. So we're going to Mudora spin back a Dockscaper in the Tearlament mirror. Can you imagine hearing those words? Mirror match tier versus tier, Mudora spins back a Dockscaper. It makes no sense. And just like that, lethal damage as Jesse advances the grand finale. Well, damn. Let's start this off. Ash onto the bonfire, which is totally a TCG player thing to do because they believe if you open up with your bonfire that you are going to be playing to a Duel and Lockbird. Even though in Master Duel, we don't play Duel and Lockbird. It is a maxi format. So, of course, he follows up with the limited 2-1, and Josh is pissed. He's like, ain't no way. And, like ashing the bonfire is not that bad. And, of course, it's a limited 1 Ashley followed up with. I don't really agree with ashing bonfire. You're also playing into a potential Gamma, but he did get access to the deck list to see if he was playing Gamma, so I'm sure he knows, okay, Ryan does not main deck Gamma. It's safe to ash that bonfire. So let's see what we can do. The problem with ashing the bonfire, I think it's just so much better to instead ash the Snake Eye Ash summon for the deck, or Original Sinful summon from the deck, or the Fire King Island. Bonfire seems such a weak ash. It does not mean that, because they're saying that you are misplaying if you activate Bonfire before Snake Eye Ash. In the TCG, sure, but not in Master Duel. As you could see, he ate his Ash, and he did it well. We're going to, with the Bonfire, Reborn with our Sunlight Wolf. We're not going to Reborn to where it's pointing to yet. As we now link this up with the Oak, come forth and summon into Link Karibo. They need to win 5 times. 5. So as you can see the 5 stars. 5 wins among the total players playing. And it's not best of 3 duels. 1 duel win is 1 point. So you 5 points, you win. So there's no side decking. There's no choosing who goes first and second either. You lose, going second, next game, you could go second again. You can go second in all of your duels. At most, each player will play up to 3 duels. That's it. Original Sinful summon for the deck, a Ponix. Ponix is activating, searching for a Sanctuary or the Fire King Island if we already have it. So we have the Sanctuary, and if we already had the Sanctuary, we would instead be searching for the Skyburn to pop cards on the field, setting up that Fire King Island while we are protected. We got some good insulation from hand traps through the Apollo, double monster negate. Now we're going to pop the Volcanics to grab from the deck, Sacred King Garunix. And that will be triggering the Volcanics and the Garunix to summon itself onto the field as we summon another Garunix from the deck to link summon with. And the Garunix on summon will activate, popping from the deck, likely an Arvata. By popping the Arvata, we get the Arvata into our circulation as we could reborn it. There you go, that's the Arvata. The Arvata is a monster negate. Also, when destroyed, it's going to be reborning the Volcanics from the graveyard, and then get ready for that Promethean Princess. And how do y'all think about the UI? Is it okay? Does the chat need to be moved over or changed? I think we're okay. This is not really covering anything. So I feel like this UI is perfectly set for us. Yeah, we're good. I'm covering up Duel B. Bro, we care about Duel B. Why are you looking at the bottom? Is that fine? Is Duel B being covered fine? You want to see all the point of views? Where do I move my camera? Amble Whale with our Arvata. We have a Monster Negate plus 2 more Monster Negates on the Apollo. We should have Promethean in the graveyard. I didn't see it as I was moving my camera. That's going to be another pop. And then we have the Sacred Garunix, which is going to be able to pop another card through the Kieran being popped from the deck. And then we also have the Amble Whale popping a card on the field. About 6 disruptions here. Arvata negating that Garunix. And with the Arvata destroying the Amble Whale, that's so important to reborn the Masquerena to give us about 2 more additional disruptions. That's about 8 disruptions, where we have just 8 up through 2 of them. So now we're down to 6 disruptions with 4 cards left in the hand. I don't think that there's any way Josh could break this outside of having a board breaker. And are we going to follow up with a triple tactics talent? We have a Called by the Grave, which is quite good in this matchup, as Josh is choosing to finger the Amble Whale. Amble Whale wanted to reborn the Masquerena, so that eats up about 2 disruptions. You gotta think about the value here. My 1 card eating up 2 disruptions, that works out. No Masquerena into Little Knight Banish, into Little Knight Banish again, great. So now what we have left is an Apollo Negate, Promethean in the grave, and the Garunix popping with a Kieran. That's about 3 more disruptions. Do we trigger our Promethean Princess right now? We're going to imperm instead. An extra disruption. I talked about this at the start of the stream. The thought of being able to use your hand trap still, even after building up a great turn 1 field, how it just feels so wrong. And there you go. Now, we have Divine Temple follow-up, setting up a card from the deck, so maybe y'all could resonate with what I was saying, that modern hand traps should probably all be built around you controlling no cards to activate them. Set up into the back row that Snake Eye Ash, which will summon from the back row if we perform a normal summon in any way whatsoever. The problem is, if he doesn't have a way to chain link block the Snake Eye Ash, he is going to simply just get negated. We have the Fire King Island pop in to grab a Kieran from the deck, and we're going to trigger the Kieran in the graveyard and the Garunix. So we are going to Reborn Garunix, Reborn with the Kieran, taking out the field spell or the Snake Eye Ash. So the field spell's not going to even trigger here. Just on summon right now, that field spell is kaput. Boom. Lethal damage. We're done. We don't have to do anything else. See, Josh is looking away. He is definitely pissed, and he should be. Oak on summon, Reborn from the graveyard. This game is over, as we're going to be hopping into, I don't know, whatever Konami wants to go. Duel B, Duel C. Let's do it. Ponix, bro, you really gonna keep on going? Like, you're BMing. There you go, lethal damage. Let's hop into another game. Does Josh get to redeem himself against Ryan? No, he don't. Whoa, that head nod. What the heck was that? The little lethal head nod, very nicely done. Good job, Ryan. As we now hop into Duel C. We have Yubel versus Tearlaments. And across your 6 different decks, which each team of 3 players have 2 decks each, but they're not forced to play their second deck, they have shared cards. So if you have one Yubel deck on your team, another player cannot play Yubel. All of the teams in the tournament generally are all playing Snake Eye Fire King, Yubel, and Tearlament. Those are the big 3 decks. Well, big 2, and then Tearlament's pretty much kind of there as the third. As we have a Forbidden Droplet, we are going to negate the anguish from attempting to link off into something like an access code talker, which of course we could still go into, as the Phantom of Yubel is now negated from being able to negate a monster effect. The Soul of Anguish was untargetable, and so was the Phantom of Yubel, protected by the Sprite Elf, but through the power of Droplet non-target negate, it gets right through it. We're going to, within Ray's turn, by the way, this is not Quantal's turn, we're going to banish a Tearlament card from the graveyard to mill 3, and there you saw that physical damage from the Maxi. Maxi, oof, you feel it IRL, as we now summon to mill 3. If this triggers a fusion, get ready to trigger that field spell to get pop, and if we didn't activate it already. Now, I don't know if the Sulliak has already been activated since we got into this duel late. Did not mill a Sharon nor a Havnis. So we're going to keep on cooking within main phase 1. He's just shaking his head. He is definitely upset, as he should be. Now, what are the actual chances, the likelihood that he should have milled a card off the top of the deck? Let's do the math real quick to see if he maybe got unlucky. So we have, oh, that's through the other thing. Oh, I cut off the, so there we go. I'm gonna fix this so that we could have a better view. How do I have that? I gotta just pull this out. There we go. There we go. All right, we got this. We got this. Yep. Access the codes. Access code talker is here. Let's say he has 30 cards left in his deck and he mills 3, and he wants to mill one of his 3 fusion triggers. That was a 28% chance to do so. So of course, not in his favor. It's not unlucky to not trigger your fusion off of that if he had 30 cards left. Accessing the codes. Let's get popping, wiping out that field spell. To battle phase we go. We don't have a Nightmare Pain to reflect battle damage with, unfortunately. So we're just going to end with at least a monster negate. Is it about to be 2-0? Very likely. Ray is positioned to win this. I do not have access to his graveyard to see if there's a Fairy Tale Snow in there potentially. With the Sulliek, we can only negate the Sprite Elf. The Phantom of Yubel is what you would want to negate, but the Phantom... Bro, who's controlling this? Who does that? He top decked a freaking reinforcement of the army. He's got a Rhino Heart. He's got plays. You gotta be out of your damn mind. You know, Phantom of Yubel actually could just negate that and he's probably screwed. Yeah, okay, so I'm still following the bottom left. We should be finishing that. Maybe he thought that this duel is gonna end. Emre, of course, just clapping as he's always doing with his non-meta decks. His meta teammates can't win with the best decks as he's just chilling there with Centurion, Flaunderies, having such an easy time. He's like, I don't understand why you guys are having such a big problem. I let you two play the meta decks, I play the non-meta, and I'm winning everything. Okay, I'm still looking at the bottom left. We have a Yubel on the field getting destroyed here, sure, with the Shavara. Triggering Yubel and the Nightmare Throne. Throne will return back into the extra Phantom of Yubel as the Yubel summons a Terra Incarnate from the deck. That's exactly what we're doing. Maybe we should just cast both duels, sure. Jesse Cotton searching for a Tearlament Grief. Tearlament Grief is great for when your Kick Callous gets negated. You could get it into the graveyard through that way. And a lot of people forget that Grief is not just summoned from the deck, it's also summoned from the graveyard. It could reborn Kick Cal, then send Kick Cal to mill 5 if it were sent there from a previous turn where you'd want to be making that play. Banish 7 cards in the graveyard to come forth and summon that Fairy Tale Snow on summon, flipping down the Baldrake, which would have been able to tribute off the Magna Hut to banish a newly summoned monster from the extra deck. Kick Cal sending itself to the graveyard to reborn from the grave or summon from the hand of Tearlament. We got Rhino Heart as we now trigger our Kick Cal to mill 5. The big play's coming as it looks like at the bottom left. Ray defeating, well, who was that? Was that Quantal? Quantal got defeated. So it's 2-0, Team 7. Team 7 only needs 3 more wins and they are the world champions. Now, Jesse Khan's duel still matters. This matters. It's not, oh, he won the set from having 2 wins. Nope. This duel, in fact, matters. It counts towards the 5 wins. Reborning with our Horus cards here as we now Xyz into likely a zombie vampire to mill 4 cards off of both players' decks. Now, you would think that Emre's Centurion deck should have a good matchup against Tearlament because he's main deck in Bestials. And if he's main deck in the Bestials, none of his teammates can have Bestials. So we had the one matchup where our one Tearlament deck is against the one deck that's playing Bestials, which hard counters Tearlament, yet it's not really countering Tearlament as we could see in this duel. We have Tearlament Kashtira on summon, mill 3. Dotscaper does not have room to summon from the graveyard. He is playing Dotscaper. Don't try to Ibly lock Jesse Cotton. He'll just linger Ebo right over it. The other deck has Dimension Shifter. Yeah, that is yeah. So I would think that Emre is quite well built with one of his decks being full of Bestials, his other one having Dimension Shifter. Shifter's only at 2 within Master Duel, not a 3 in TCG, that is. As we now make a Dark, Dark's going to be reborning a Dark monster from the opposing player's graveyard. Come to me, summon to where the Dark is pointing to. We now got that Serenir. If Serenir is sent to the graveyard, even from the opponent's side, it will trigger to send something from the deck like a Bestial Lubellion if we don't already have one in the grave. And you have to remember here that Jesse's talking to his teammates. He's not talking to himself. They are coaching each other. And I don't know if they're coaching Emre, or maybe Emre could just hear them in the voice sets. Yeah, that's probably what's going on here. So through the power of Josh and Quantal, Emre is receiving all of their input and coaching and advice, which is allowed and it is encouraged within this event. Little Knight will turn off our ability to attack directly. We could still wipe out monsters. Goodbye to the stand-up Centurion, which is not even activatable during the next turn to discard a card to set up a card in the back row. It only was providing the trigger effect of on summon from either side of the field to perform a synchro summon. So on your own turn, it's kind of trash. So if we are very likely going to have another way to gain access to that field spell. We do have the quick effect of the Little Knight to chain banish one of our own monsters plus an opponent's monster, ideally, is what we would be doing. The Baron de Floor, I think we still have that Omni Negate. Now, the Phalanx special summons does not return like Little Knight, so it does trigger cards like Scream to mill 3 if we control a Tearlament on the resolution of the normal summon. Now, a big play for Emre could be to make a Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel would be unaffected by the Baron de Floor, unaffected by the Little Knight Banish. But we have to make it with the light monster, and the Trudea is dark. So if we could Primera special summon, that's going to be the big play. Auxilla being reborn with Phalanx, which will trigger the Auxilla to search our deck for another field spell, search our deck for any Centurion card, which is why it's important for Keldo to spin that Auxilla back in the deck, stopping it from reborning, and by returning our own Tearlament Kashtira, that's going to trigger the field spell. Field spell is going to pop a card in the field. But if we use the field spell to pop the Trudea in the back row, if Trudea moves positions, it has the quick effect to jump off the field into a monster zone, it's not going to get popped. So that's why we do not want to target the Trudea, since it likely will be summoned this turn anyway. Take out the Baldrake before it flips up. Now, through the Trudea itself, we're going to be able to, if without disruption, we could set up a Primera into the back row, then summon that Primera from the back row to then make that Chaos Angel to get unaffected from activated monster effects and banish. Preempting our Druiswarm when it's not to his own fault, but ideally your Bestials, they should be chained to the activation of a Tearlament monster in Graveyard trying to fusion summon. But if this is the only play he has, then that's fine to do. Now, we have to be the direct chain to a card effect to the opponent to activate our Little Knight to chain banish. And if we Fairy Tail Snow, banish the card that Druiswarm is targeting, Druiswarm does not get summoned. And we want to summon the Druiswarm because if Druiswarm is sent to the graveyard in any way whatsoever, it could target a card like the Baron de Floor, sending it to the grave, forcing out the negate of the Baron de Floor. Here we go. Trudea come forth and summon. It's important to note that Emre has not committed to a normal summon. So Jesse has to think about this. Do I negate the Trudea setting up a Primera? But if I do that, what if he normal summons a Primera from the hand? That's going to be a big problem. With that open normal summon, what do we do with that Trudea? Do we negate? Do we wait for the hard once per turn activation of the Primera because maybe he has one in the hand? If he negates the activation of Primera summoning, we could still have that other one from the hand. This is it. Big moment. Or we wait for it to summon, then activate. Nope, we do not wait for it to summon and activate, so we could in fact follow up with a Primera from the hand to activate its effect on summon. Now, Emre could have summoned Primera and chose to not activate it if we just wanted to have that Primera on the field alongside a Bestial to make that Chaos Angel. He's like, Josh, what do I do, man? I'm screwed. What? we scooping or what? I don't think scooping's allowed. Oh boy. Oh boy. We got Gargoyle, send Trudea, special summon, level 8, reduced by the Tearlament Scream down to 1500 into a Typhon. Just by summoning Typhon, you cannot normal or special summon for the rest of the turn. It's over. All the Primeras are in grave, rip. Well, you've been watching the duel. Oh my gosh, Primera is gone from the game. Spin back the Baron to floor. Now, Baron to floor cannot negate, but you just made a monster leave the field, so the Doom attack will now trigger. Draw 3. Oh my gosh. That is crazy. Goodbye to the Rhino Heart. Oh, man. You know, Typhon is just a delayed loss. It usually is. The stand-up Centurion is not going to be recycling the Primera in the graveyard. This has to be from the deck as we grab that Trudea that already activated. Little Knight returned back onto the field alongside the Magna Hut. Now, we could special Trudea, trigger field spell, make Chaos Angel, but it will be affected by activated card effects from monsters. So that's going to be a big problem. Grief, reborn from the grave or summoned from the deck, then send to the graveyard the same attribute or type that you summoned. So by summoning the Sharon, send Sharon, trigger the Sharon to fusion summon, triggering the field spell to pop a card on the field. What do? There you go, the Druid Swarm. We know that's there. It's been in the hand. We negated it, not negated, but we stopped it from being summoned. So this is not a surprise, or at least it should not be. There you go, Druid Swarm is here, as we now do not get to trigger our field spell. Rhino Heart on summon. Do we have Havnis still in the deck, or was the Havnis banished by a Bestial as we entered this duel late? We're going for the mill 3 plus send. Nothing there. Havnis. No. Ooh, Havnis has got to be banished. I think Havnis is gone. And Sharon is semi-limited. Havnis limited to 1. Are there 2 Sharons banished? I don't know. Is banished? There's only 1 card left in the deck? It's blinking. Look at it. It's pulsating. 3,000 or more attack cannot activate anywhere. Not on the field, grave, banish, nowhere. We're going to flip down that Typhon, and just like that, 3,000 or more is able to activate. We could save the Little Knight for the field spell. So when the Trudea summons and you trigger the field spell, you could use Little Knight to chain banish the Trudea so that the Chaos Angel does not get summoned. So Little Knight is pinning down the Trudea. Think about that. We potentially have an Xyz summon play here with one of our 2 Whoa! Link 4? This can't be an Apollo USA. What the heck is it? Topologic Zeroboros, 9,400 attack. What the? It gains attack per banished card, and the Fairy Tale Snow could banish even more cards. We have 2 Fairy Tale Snows. We could banish our entire hand and graveyard. And what did I say? Little Knight pinning down the Trudea, banishing it, and further boosting up the Topologic Zeroboros. And what's truly great about this, he's not allowed to surrender. He's going in. Banish with Fairy Tale Snow, please. We don't need to. That would have been BM. Lethal damage, just like that. 3-0. Oh boy. Oh my gosh, Josh and Jesse. They have to play it out.
It's happening!
Wait, no, if Jesse's 2 teammates win, oh my gosh, he just summoned Medora past. That's, I don't have to tell you, that's really, really bad. Medora still has the quick effect on field to spin up to 3 cards from either player's graveyard back into the deck. That is wild.
Finally won the coin flip.
Well, yeah, he won the coin flip. Jesse is playing a 60-card deck, so, and you're even getting impermanence. So this was, the effect was relevant enough to even negate with impermanence. And even though it leaves the field by cost, it is still negated. Now, there's still hope. Jesse doesn't look like he has a Maxi in his hand, though. He's looking around. He's pissed. This is not what someone with Maxi would look like. He's telling his teammates, I'm done. It's over. I drew nothing. I bricked. His teammates saying, bro, why'd you bring a 60 freaking card deck to Worlds? Are you out of your damn mind? Of course you didn't open up Maxi. Of course you bricked. So let's see if Josh could just whip out a quick turn 2 lethal, or if he also bricked. Looks like he definitely did not brick. He opened up more than optimal. He's got the full combo without normal summon, plus an additional Snake Eye Divine Temple. This is super ideal. He just has to perfectly play this through hand traps. And I guess the question is, what hand traps does Jesse play? Well, let's see what Jesse's got. Jesse, potentially in his hand, obviously does not have Max C. That's all he has? Wait. This dude just plays Max C as his only hand trap in a 60-card deck? Not even in permanence. So Josh, who definitely did not look at his deck list, he knows he's got this. He passed the Max C check, and there's nothing else that Jesse could do. No Nibiru. Let's go. Ponix is here. Grab from the deck here. Come forth. Let's get to it. Yeah, it's full gas. Now, because it's full gas, when he goes second, he's pushing through fully developed fields. 8+ disruptions with no board breakers, non-engine. Full engine, he breaks those fields, and we've been seeing it all weekend. But the downside is we don't have hand traps. And we could brick because we play too many engines at one. They're like, let's hurry, get away from this. Jesse's getting clobbered. All right, Emre in Ray. Where's Emre's full Andres deck? We don't want to whip that out within the grand finale. Now, lucky for Jesse, his team is up 3 wins. So if Ray and his teammate wins, it's over. That's it. So this is the second set. The third set may happen if at least 2 Snipe Hunters win. Yeah, just need 2. 2 to win. 2 to win. Harpy, freaking Feather Duster wiping out all the back row cards. Are you freaking kidding me? Primera is going to be activating alongside the field spell, Chainlink blocking. Cosmic! He's got a side deck in the main deck. No way! I can't believe this. He just denied his disruption. He's got 0 disruption now. He was gonna make a Blazar Dragon to negate a normal summon, negate a special summon, or negate an effect of a spell, trap, or monster. Negate anything. Purely. Since when was Ray playing Purely? I don't remember him on Purely. Well, let's get Purely in. Reveal 3 quick play spells and guarantee add 1 of the 3 randomly. But if you reveal the same one 3 times, like Sleepy, Sleepy, 2 Sleepy and the Delicious. Is Sleepy semi-limited? I forget. I think it's at fully at 3. May have a Sleepy already in the hand. Activating the Stray Purely. What happened at the bottom here? That was Josh, right? This is it. This is it. This decides Worlds. If Ray wins, it's over. The entire Worlds is over for Master Duel, that is. Discarding to a newly special summon Purely is untargetable. Now, we know that Emre is playing a ton of hand traps. Let's check this out. Emre is playing Veilers, which cannot be used on the newly special summon Pureleys, but he could potentially Ghost Ogre. If he Ghost Ogres and they have the Purely protected by the Happiness, it will not be destroyed. But I don't see him even thinking about using it, so I would say he does not have it. Oh my gosh. We are going to normal summon our Purely. There you go, the Effect Veiler. We had the Veiler, which could not be used on the Lily, nor the Happiness Exceeds. This doesn't matter. We could swing into another monster to grab Delicious if we didn't already have it. Don't we have Delicious in the hand? Oh my gosh. This is it. As I said, swing to another monster, search our deck. We didn't get the Delicious, we tried to. So we search for Delicious, and then Delicious will make the Primera indestructible by battle. Why would you want to do that? Well, we're going to reduce her by half of her attack right now. As she drops to 800, and the Happiness has 3 more attacks. As we gain the Delicious, we needed a Chainlink block this. If Emre had a Chainlink block somewhere, something activatable, a Bestial even, it could have potentially protected us. Baboost up to 29. As we make the Primera, we did it. We did it. Indestructible. I mean, this is game. I don't know what to tell you. We win right now. 2100. Search our deck. A Droll and Lockbird would be a good way to completely stop this lethal. We have 2 more attacks, and now we're 3200 attack against 400 attack. So do the math. 59, 32, then 35, 32, then 35, swing, 32, 35, and then it's going to drop to 200. I don't know. You help me out with that as we attack again. Boost, 32. Oh my gosh, 31. As you drop the 200. As we boost again. Reduce. We need this to go through. If we chain link block it, we don't get that final attack. He didn't have a Bestial. He didn't have anything. Nothing to chain link block. The final attack, final boost. 3,500, 3,300 for game. Just like that. Lethal damage. The current world champion team has been dethroned just like that. Oh my gosh, ain't no way. We have new world champions. Team 7 is your world champion team. Oh my gosh. They did it. They did it. The Mad Lads have done it. Wow. Incredible. Probably done. Jesse is their father. What happened? Whoa. What's...
There's a guy doing this to them.
Oh my gosh. Wait, there's kind of an audience. What is that, like family? Staff? Journalists? Who's writing about this? Is our Macedon meta journalist on the ground there? If we sent a journalist there, it probably would get detained. Oh my gosh, wow. The emotions are high.
Do they only get one trophy?
Wait, how'd they split the trophy? Jesse's like, nah, I insist. You get the trophy. It's yours. Sure.
Everyone gets
I'll take it.
touch.
Then you have to give it back to Konami because they can't afford to give those out.